Hello and welcome to Audacity. What we're going to be doing today is going to show you how to use this software that allows you to record sounds. It's quite a powerful tool. There is so much that it can do. We have got lots of icons along the top, and to be honest, most of it you will not need. I'm not going to use most of this today. Okay, there's also this big chunk along the bottom here, which is a way of tracking where you are in the music or in your piece of sound. And again, I'm not going to be using that today. I don't need it for what I'm doing. The most important things that we are going to use today are some of the buttons that are over here, which you will recognize the symbols hopefully, because they appear on so many other things like CD players, and video recorders, all sorts of things like this. So we have pause, two black lines, pause, green triangle, go or play. The black square is to stop. The line in the triangle, we've got two of these. The first one takes you to the very beginning of your sound or your recording, and the second one takes you to the very end of your sound or your recording. The final button that you've got here is the red circle, which is the record symbol. So we will be using that in a second, and we're just going to make sure that we have things to record. So I'm going to start off by recording. The thing that I'm going to record is I have got some let's see if I can get this on there. I have got some ball bearings, three of them, and I've got a tin lid, and they make a really nice sound when you drop them in and you swirl them around. So I'm going to record that as my first track. I'm going to count myself in as well. You'll hear myself counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and that will help me later on when I record some more sounds to add to what I've got. So first of all, I'm going to go up to my record button up here. I'm going to press that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when I'm finished with my sound, I press stop. Okay, you might even have someone help you with that. You could be doing the sounds while someone else is controlling the recording and the stopping and starting buttons, or you could be the sound engineer and you could have someone else making the music while you record them. Okay, so what you saw happening while I was recording, you can see I have a sound file of everything that's going on, and these blobs that we can see in the line, they match up with the sounds that I made. So if I was to have a look at what we've got here, we've got these 4 blobs right at the very beginning, and this will be me going 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can actually see that I was probably loudest on 4 because it's got the biggest shape. 2, I wasn't very loud at all. Okay, so we got those. And then we have here, this will be the sound or the recording of that first ball bearing being dropped, the second ball bearing being dropped, and the third ball bearing being dropped. And then just at the end here, we can see the start of when I was swirling them round, and that goes on. Okay, so we can see the sounds that we've made, and we can listen back if we want to listen. It's always worthwhile just checking that it's what you want it to be. So to listen back, we go to play. Okay, that sounds okay. The swirling's quite a little bit quiet, but it's okay. What I could do is I can now add on a second track, and what I might want to do this time is I might want to have I'm going to try to add a little bit to that swirling, okay, because the swirling's not very loud. So I'm going to do some more swirling. I'm not going to worry about dropping them in. I'm going to have my tin again. and I'm going to have my ball bearings already in there, and I'm going to wait with my second tracks that I'm going to record, and I'm going to start swirling at the same time, so we'll have 2 lots of swirling. I need to create some new tracks though to record. If I record now, I will record over what I've already done, and I don't want to do that. I want to get a new track. So the way I get a new track is I go to the top here where it says tracks, and I'm going to click on there. Okay, so I'm going to click on there. So click on tracks, brings down the list, and I'm going to add new. And I'm going to add stereo track. Stereo track gets me those 2 things. You can see at the bottom there is a new track that has been added. All right, and it's 2 blank tracks, and this is where I'm going to do my recording. So I'm going to record again with this. Okay, so let's start recording. I will hear, as I'm recording, I will hear the first track being played. I would recommend, if you're going to do this properly, you should have headphones on so that you can hear the sound in the headphones that you're playing along to, but the microphone won't pick it up again. But just to let you hear what I'm doing, I don't have headphones for this. So let's do record. Okay, so I've now added a second track, and hopefully that will boost the sound of that swirling. And again, I can check. The good thing is about this as well, I don't always have to start at the very beginning each time, because if I know where I'm going to start, because I've got my 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have 1, 2, 3 of my drops with the ball bearing, so I know I need to hear sometime after that. So if I just click, it puts a line in after it, and that's where it will start playing from. So I'm going to start playing. Okay, and that sounds a little bit louder now, so I'm happy. That will do. So I'm going to go back to the beginning again by clicking the back to the beginning, and I can add in another track. So if I've got some more sounds that I want to add in, I can add in another track. So let's have a new track, just like we showed you, and we'll add one more thing. So this time I have found, I've got a book, and there's a nice, when you flip through a book, you can get that nice sound. So I'm going to use that to flip through the sound. So are we ready? Make sure it's at the start. I've got my new track all ready to go. There it is there, my third one. Have you noticed that, how can I tell which track is which? Because they've all got audio track, audio track, audio track. To keep track of, so I know which one's which, I would recommend that you name each track. So the way you do that is where it says audio track here, click on that triangle and choose name from the list. You can then call it whatever you want. So this could be ball bearing drop. Okay, because that's the one where I drop the ball bearing. So we can see, ooh, it hasn't shown the whole lot. So I'm going to rename it because it's only showing ball bearing. So this time I'm going to call it ball drop. Okay, and there we go, ball drop. I can see that, and in my head I now know which one that one is. This could be again, second one, I'm going to call this one swirl because we had some extra swirls on it. Okay, and I'm now ready for my third track, and my third track is my pages on the book. So I'm going to name this first so I know what it is. Call it pages. Okay, and get to the beginning of the track, and I'm going to start recording. Now I only wanted that at the beginning, so I don't have to record all the way through the track. I just need to record it from where I want it to be. So that sounded quite good to me. So again, you can always check on everything each time and see what that sounds like. Oh, now that sounded great to me when I was playing it, but it doesn't seem to be very good now because it seems to be a little bit quiet. Okay, so show you a nice little trick now. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to use here, effect. I'm going to use that effect. Okay, and just to show you how that works, I make sure that I choose the track that I want. So it's pages that I want to put this effect on. I'm going to go up to effect and I am going to amplify. Amplify means that it makes it louder. Okay, it makes it louder. So I'm going to go into there and I'm going to amplify. What this does is it brings me with a little slider. Okay, so my little slider, if I slide to the left, it gets quieter. If I slide to the right, it gets louder. Now don't go too far. It doesn't need to move very much. Okay, so I've got that. There's my OK button. If your OK button isn't there, you just need to put a little tick into the allow clipping. Okay, and then it will be there. So without that, if I take it out, it won't have the OK, but by clicking in allow clipping, I've got my OK and I'm happy with that. And straight away I can see that this has got thicker. So maybe my sound will be a little bit better. Oh, look at all those there. Right, this looks a little bit more interesting. So now let's see what happens when I go back to the beginning and press play. I can definitely hear a little bit more sound there now. So we're starting to build up our piece of sound. So you can add as many as you want. You can even have a track with your voice. So you could have, let's have a look, let's add a new one and let's have a stereo track. This will be the final one I'll show you, and then it's up to you what you go and do. Okay, so I've got my new track. Again, before I do anything, let's give it a sound. So this time I'm going to call it voice 1. Because I might add in some more voices later on. So this is voice 1, and I can then think about what I'm going to do with this. Okay, so I've got my sound, and then you just listen to it as it fits all together. So back to the beginning, and then hopefully we have. Oh, right, I quite like that. So that sound is nice, and it's starting to come together as a piece of music or a piece of sound, if nothing else. So have a go, see how you get on. I'd love to hear your work. I will show you. We will need to come up with a way of how you're going to share this with everyone. But have a go yourself and just enjoy what you're doing. Making sounds and making music is a wonderful thing to be able to involve with. Have fun.